Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Amsterdam Business Show. My name is Chris Pastrana, and today we're here with Jack Potvin of Modern Revolutions. How you doing, Jack?
Hey, good. Thank you very much for having me, Chris. I really appreciate it, and I'm thankful for being able to speak with you on the show today.
Yeah, definitely. So let's get it started because you're pretty young. You're probably my youngest guest to date so far. So let's get a little bit of your backstory, your history, and
Sure. So I'm 17 years old. I go to Pinkerton Academy, which is in Derry, and I'm here today to speak about Modern Revolution, an artist in the world of actors, and the NH Small Business Fest, which are three ventures I've launched, relatively new within the last 4 years. Each one is, Modern Revolution is a parent. The parent brand below that is Artist in the World of Actors, which is the clothing brand. And then below that is the NH Small Business Fest, which, the name's pretty self-explanatory. Businesses come, showcase their brand, showcase their product, meet new people, network, and meet new customers. So
that's pretty good. So you mentioned there that you've done this all over the last 4 years.
Ish,
so that would put you about 13 when you started with what?
Yeah. So at that point, I was really just kind of, where I wanted to go, how I was going to, put the plans in place.
Yeah.
Just researching, basic marketing terms, learning, the tricks of the trade, if you will.
Yeah.
Just getting meetings with any people that would talk to me and just, learning as much as I could. At 13, not many people are going to take you seriously. 17, the same way, I guess, you could argue. But.
All right, cool. Because I think before we even talk about anything else, I think that's a really good thing to bring up is the age.
Yeah. Because
a lot of people, when you think of, so I guess social media is an area where people are probably a little more likely to be like, okay, you probably know something about social media.
Yeah.
You're better than, like the 90-year-olds who are like, what the hell is a phone?
For sure.
But still the running of a business when you're very young, I could see people being a little, weary and hesitant there.
For
so
sure.
I think that's an interesting area to bridge.
Yeah. From different, chamber meetings I've been to and BNIs, I visited and, learned from a bunch of people there. They've definitely at first been skeptical of, my basis of knowledge, and, my companies, but then, they're open to it. Some people more than others for sure. But, as people get to know me and get to know my businesses, the brands that I've built, there seems to be no real problem besides being 20 years younger than the average person.
Man, I'm 30, and I'm like 20 years younger than the average person I run into at a networking event, so I got you.
Yeah.
It can be tricky.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's talk about the first one, Modern Revolutions.
Sure.
So you said it's a marketing company,
yeah.
Like social media?
So, I do social media. I've had, a variety of different brands over the last year and a half, basically just running their, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever platform they want me to run, and creating content for both advertisements in addition to their social media pages.
Mm-hmm.
And, on top of that, I run my social media page, which is Modern Revolution Marketing on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And through that page, I really just give, basic marketing tips and, regular words that aren't, the definitions that you'll find on the web. And it's just from what I've learned from my experiences and just offering some tips to, younger people trying to learn.
All right. That's pretty good. I like that.
Thank you.
Because social media is a very interesting area. I've talked to a couple people about this on the show before. Mm-hmm. It's a very profitable area because you can make a lot of money just running businesses on social media. I run into it all the time, especially some of the people I have on the show. Like they don't have functional websites.
Yeah. All
they have is like a Facebook page, and they make all of their money on it.
Mm-hmm.
And these are small businesses, but I do know at least of one business. Actually, I know a couple. They run it all on social media, and they're multi-million-dollar businesses.
Oh, for sure.
So it's like there's a lot of room to grow there, and I think it's the way society is moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think it's a good area to be in.
Definitely, yeah. For developing businesses, social media is definitely an aspect that they'll want to explore, want to get into, try different posts out, advertisements out, and just, really building a brand and getting your name out there. So social media is definitely a place that, every business, regardless of, sector, should definitely want to get into.
Yeah. Now, being young, because, okay, I'm going to date myself a little bit here, because social media is much newer than when I was kind of younger. Because when I was, like, in high school, like, we really didn't even have cell phones yet. Like, we were kind of just bridging that area, and MySpace was a thing.
Yeah.
So, so this is quite a while ago, Does that kind of benefit you as far as like the social media portion because you're so exposed to it from such a young age?
It definitely does. Growing up, there hasn't been a time when social media wasn't really a part of my life.
Yeah.
Being 17, I'm really right where it began to take off. So I think in terms of the hashtags, in terms of different movements on especially Instagram and Twitter, just being aware to that and knowing how to utilize it for the benefit of both my personal brands and the brands that I help and run their social media pages through with Modern Revolution.
Yeah. Okay, so this is actually a really good one. Actually, most of my questions are good, but I'm talking about but new tech. So every month or so, I'm running across like a new app or a new channel that people want to be on. Like, how are you staying up to date with all of this stuff? Because it moves pretty quick.
Definitely does.
So do you have any tips for how someone can kind of stay on the ball as far as what's new in the social media world?
Sure. So there actually are a lot of influencer accounts on Instagram that I follow, and not just Instagram, Twitter as well. And these influencers really, and YouTube channels as well. They really have a great range of where they shout out other businesses and get involved with a bunch of other businesses, so you can see what they're doing. New apps on the market, as you said. Just understanding where the market's moving. And new things on the market, new ideas that you could possibly incorporate into your business, and stuff along the lines of that for sure.
Something you should probably look at going down the road. That'd be a good addition to your business.
Definitely, yeah.
Just throwing that out there. Okay, so social media. There's so much we can talk about social media, but I want to get to some of your other businesses first. So you mentioned marketing, then you mentioned you have a clothing line.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
So it's an apparel brand where I saw a bunch of specific things in society that I wanted to change, and what better way than putting it on on some apparel and selling it. So I'm really not doing that for money. I'm just doing that to try to spread different different ideas, spread different like one of my sweatshirts is Be Diverse, and then it just talks about be diverse in a world of thought, diverse in perspective, stuff like that. So it's just thoughtful apparel that I'm putting on different clothes. And each one has a specific message. Some resonate with other people more than others. And I've actually sold I think over 35 pieces, and it's mainly to students at Pinkerton. So I think a lot of kids are really catching on and really resonating with the messages.
It's pretty good. And that's a good thing to be catching on with, because if you're putting out like positive messages and no one's biting on it, then I think we have a deeper problem than
for sure
than clothing.
Yeah.
So where do you want to move that? Because that's a very interesting business to kind of move forward down the road. It's very different than
definitely.
social
I get
media.
that question a lot. I'm really trying to develop that into a media source where, and on my Instagram, the A World of Artists Instagram, I've really tried to show, how I want the media. Like, so I bring on one of my recent videos, was on a kid who just got into Stanford University. He spoke on how, he defied the numbers. He actually moved, he was an immigrant. And then, Stanford has obviously a 4.8 acceptance rate, so it's incredibly difficult to get into, a school of that caliber.
Yeah.
And he spoke about how he defied the odds. Another video I had, a kid who played guitar, his name's Ricky, and he really, showed how important collaboration was with him. So just getting all these different young influencers and, people from different perspectives, and transforming that into like an influencer media source, in addition to just positive vibes, if you will. So clothing brand media source combination. If that,
which is good. I mean, I think a lot of clothing companies kind of have an image / message they like to put forward.
For sure.
So I mean, it's probably right on line with what you should be doing. Like that. It's pretty good, because these are very. I mean, just looking at these, just kind of broad. They're very different, so it's cool to kind of see like the media and the marketing, and then something a little more old school like clothing. So it's kind of cool. Now, how are you actually? I don't have to go into full detail, but like making all the clothing, or you just kind of like you have the clothing, and then where you print stuff on it. Or
So I have a business that I go through. A kid I grew up with, his dad actually owns a printing company. So he prints the clothes for me. I send over the designs. He prints them, and then I put them up on the website and sell them.
Oh, okay. So pretty easy.
Yeah, not too complicated,
Now, is it something, I guess it's more of a technical question, do you buy all of it ahead of time and then sell it, or you just kind of sell it as it comes in.
Buy in bulk. Yep.
So buy in bulk and then you sell in bulk.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. Cool. Awesome. Because I was just because some companies do it differently. Because I've seen some that though everything's on pre-order.
Sure.
So you'll pre-order everything and you'll be like, hey, I need 30 of these before they go in. So someone like I've done this a bunch of times where you have to wait like a month or two, and then once all of the pre-orders are met, it'll they ship everything in bulk. So, but if you're buying it in bulk, it's cool. You can have all of it and just sell it as you need to. And it's kind of it's cool. I just like the different approaches to the same thing.
For sure, yeah, and definitely with the sizing, sometimes it gets difficult if you place a big order on smalls and then you're not selling any smalls.
Yeah.
But I haven't run across that problem yet, so
that's good.
I've been fortunate, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So let's move on to the New Hampshire Small Business Fest because you said this is the one you really want to talk about. So
definitely,
let's kind of punch that.
So the NH Small Business Fest, I came up with the idea about 2 years ago, and I really was looking to see how I can help small businesses. I started out with Modern Revolution, which, as we spoke on earlier, is the marketing company, and I wanted to run social media pages for different, smaller businesses that weren't either active on it or, didn't really know how social media worked. And then from there, I realized I couldn't really help that many businesses. I tried to get, a couple kids my age to help me out in terms of running the pages. But, just a lot of kids didn't, not quite at the level of professionalism and, stuff along the lines of that as I would have preferred. So I thought, what else can I do large scale to help a lot of businesses at one time? And I came up with the NH Small Business Fest. So the NH Small Business Fest itself really connects, the businesses, so all the local small businesses from hair salons to restaurants to, chiropractors, everyone in the local community. Connects them to both other businesses where they can network, learn, connect, and also to the customers. So, at the event, there's food, a bunch of local restaurants serving food, a bunch of businesses, music. I play basketball. So I had a basketball three-point contest at the actual event. Just, bringing people in, getting families in there. And just really helping out local businesses, getting the visibility they deserve.
Cool. How big does those events usually get?
Sure. So I hosted my first one September 30th of last year, and that one had over 20 businesses and 5 sponsors, and that was the first event ever.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's
I appreciate
really good. Yeah, it's a phenomenal resource for small businesses, and I think it's definitely one that could grow pretty quickly because that's what we need is that type of small get-together. So we have expos every once in a while, but when they get too big, you kind of get bogged down with a bunch of other stuff that you don't need. So it's good to see small, fast, type of thing like that you're putting out. I like
For sure.
that.
Yeah, and I definitely believe that this year we're going to grow. As being the first event and being a 17-year-old kid running that, the trust issues definitely, a little shaky at first. But, as I got more businesses involved, a bunch of great businesses joined on. And, I think all of them seemed like they would be interested in coming back next year, as we're looking to host a second event, probably this late spring, early summer. So I really want to work on just getting as many people involved as possible, helping as many people out, and just connecting people.
Cool. And I'm definitely willing to help you out with that. So
thank you very much.
Come time, definitely start letting me know because that's pretty cool.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Chris.
And I like that. That's really cool. Now, because you mentioned trust, and I think that's a really interesting thing to talk on because now that you have a little bit of almost like a reputation built. Are we looking? How much bigger are we looking to grow these? Because that could be 20 businesses up to 40 or 100 could be a lot of work and issues.
So the dream would be to develop a brand big enough, release the the idea for the NH Small Business Fest. To build a brand big enough that I can say, okay, I'm here in, northern New Hampshire. I'm here in, central New Hampshire, southern New Hampshire, East Coast, West Coast, having different events for different parts of the state, getting different people involved. Like at the next one, I want to get a couple of this major influencers involved and maybe have a couple speakers, local business owners, you, Chris, maybe?
Yeah.
Come on. There we go. But just getting as many people involved, and just seeing where I can really grow it to in terms of getting more businesses in, changing venues possibly. I'm not sure. I hosted at the Boys and Girls Club. I went there when I was a kid, so they let me actually use the space.
That's cool.
Awesome people there. So that was awesome for me to just have a space already set up and then just get the businesses in there, let them connect, just have a good time.
Yeah, and. Now, at one of these, are you looking what's your like? I forget the word I want to say here. Like customer turnout, because you got the businesses and you got the sponsors, but are you having good turnout from the general public as well?
A solid turnout, for the first event, and at first, because I had a lot more expenses being the first event, I had the idea that the event was actually supposed to be outside. It was going to be an outdoor festival, but because of rain, we had to move it indoors, and I think that that definitely caused some confusion. But in terms of next year, we know what we need to do. I can now have more of a backup plan in place if the weather doesn't plan accordingly. Definitely just getting new businesses, and that's the biggest thing I want to stress. Every business can come in, regardless of, like, I had everything from law firms to restaurants. So just any business can prosper from getting visibility, getting involved.
Cool, awesome. I like that. It's a good. I keep saying this, but it's a really good thing for the public, and it's good to see someone so young getting into it. Because I talked about this with, my state representative friend I had on here last week, and finding people who are young that want to get into business is kind of a little tricky, and getting like the kind of community involved in it is kind of hard too. So it's kind of interesting to see that from a young age. Do you have issues with school? Because this is someplace I'm going to find. Let me frame that question a little bit so it's not like a trap or anything.
Yeah.
When I was in school, school wasn't my thing. I wasn't very good at it. I was a good wrestler.
There you go.
I was good at sports, but I wasn't very good at the academic side of things. Is that something you have an issue with as well, where you're kind of bored by the school aspect of it, or are you pretty good on that end? Just kind of.
For sure, there's some classes that interest me more than others. But I do really focus a lot of my time and effort. I'm not gonna lie here. My parents, if they're watching this, they're definitely gonna, agree with me here that I focus my time more towards, developing ventures, brands, networking with a bunch of different people. And if I spent that amount of time on my schoolwork, then I'd have straight A's. Yeah. But I do decent in school, and I recently got into UNH Business School. Peter Paul School, so I'm definitely excited for that.
Yeah, congratulations, that's good.
Thank you very much.
And you're 17, so are you doing that soon or next?
Turning
fall?
18, 3 days. So birthday's coming up.
So come fall time, you're gonna be looking at going to school.
Yep. I got a couple of schools I'm looking at as well.
Nice.
That's
awesome.
Exciting time for sure.
Yeah, this is a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I bring this up because across the board, it's funny. When I was younger, my mom used to get so mad at me because I was never very good in school because I find it so boring.
Yeah.
You sit there like, here's your book, and I'm like, I don't want to read this book. I want to read my own types of books or write my own books. I don't want to sit there and do this type of thing. And if you listen to Gary Vaynerchuk or Grant Cardone or any of the really big key players, especially entrepreneurial world,
for sure,
you find there's kind of a disconnect between schools and entrepreneurs, which it kind of sounds like you're starting to get that, where they try to teach you in a way that it's like, well, I don't want to do this. I want to be doing something, and I want to create something, and it just kind of falls flat when you're sitting in a classroom all day. So I guess you kind of
the lack of things being applied definitely it bores me for sure. But it is what it is. I need the degree, and it's college is going to be a great time. So I'm definitely excited for it.
Cool, awesome. So I'm not sure where to go from there. First off, I guess before we get going, let's kind of do the plug on the websites and the social media, so I don't forget that portion of it. I do all the time.
Okay. So the small business marketing brand that I have, Modern Revolution, that is nhsmallbusinessfest.com. The website's in conjunction with the New Hampshire Small Business Fest. And additionally, the Instagram is Modern Revolution Marketing. And for an artist in the world of actors, the website is aworldofartists.com. I definitely suggest you check it out. I've been working pretty hard on that. I have some models up there, different things that I've been working on. So that's definitely, a cool concept to definitely keep in mind. And the Instagram for that is Artists in a World. And then for the NH Small Business Fest, as I said, is the NH Small Business Fest on Instagram.
Okay. Cool. Awesome.
So thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. So back to the New Hampshire Small Business Fest. You said you're looking for any business in general to come in?
Yeah, any small business. So, staying away from, big corporations and just, getting the smaller businesses the visibility they deserve, especially, you know, the mom and pop shops. Table's only $65, so, you know, in terms of, you know, price, it's a lot cheaper than other ones in state for sure. I haven't seen one that you know, even compares to that price, and it really is because I just want to get as many people as possible involved in the event, and just get as much visibility for all the small businesses.
Now, a business coming into this, what should they look at bringing with them?
Sure. So definitely a setup. So I have example pictures on my website from things that previous businesses did. But just, you know, in terms of pop-up signs, business cards for sure. You know, a lot of people have like posters they bring. You know, like a big, you know, sign saying their brand name.
Yeah.
You know, just visible. If you have things you want to give away, like trade show gifts, stuff like that is definitely a great route to go.
All right, cool. Just so, you know, people watch and know, because I'll push that more as we get closer.
Thank you very much.
You get all that information set up for me, because that'd be cool. Like I said, I like that type of thing. I think that's important. It's the type of thing I push here a lot, and I'll be looking to do in the future. So we might even look at doing some stuff in the future.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I'll keep it open. Yeah.
And
sure.
We'll look at that going, because you have some experience there. I don't have, like, putting one of these together.
Sure.
So we'll figure that out as we go. That's awesome. Cool. I like that. And
Thank you.
That's pretty much all I got. Is there anything you want to say to anybody, or say any other points you want to make?
I guess I'll just end on a little laugh here, but just because a 17-year-old comes into your business doesn't mean he knows what he's talking, or doesn't know what he's talking about.
Doesn't mean he knows what he's talking about.
Yes. We may not know everything, but, you know, we try hard and we learn. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, you're off to a really, really good start, and I like that. And I think there's a lot of potential there. And like I said, especially on the marketing one, that's super easy. It just kind of becomes a make sure you're charging what you're worth type deal.
For sure.
Which comes with a little experience and practice. And that's a hell of a question. Do you practice sales?
Yeah. So getting all the businesses to come, that's door to door. You know, cold calling, if you will. It's definitely tough. But the BNI, Tim Roberts, he actually helped me out and let me talk to, you know, all the different businesses, all the different BNIs. So from Salem, you know, Wyndham, all the different towns, and that was really awesome for me to, you know, get the opportunity to really show myself in front of the businesses where they are, you know, in the networking state of mind versus, you know, going to an ice cream shop while they have 100 customers coming at them. And I think that really, you know, in terms of selling, that's definitely, you know, I feel like I've gotten great experience from that.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. Because I say that because a lot of people overlook sales, and you'll probably see this when you get to college. They're always like, yeah, business, entrepreneurship, but they forget, like, the one thing is you have to be able to sell it.
Yeah.
So, like, if you can't even just moderately make a sales pitch, like, you're kind of in a hard spot. For
sure.
So it's definitely a good area to focus on and practice. And everything in life is sales. So, like, I don't want people to hate it so much.
Yeah.
I like to sell. I used to be a used car salesman. You know, kind of funny.
Teaches you a lot, for sure. It definitely does.
And it's a good thing to move forward on. So that's my only advice. My big advice for today is, you know, get really comfortable selling. Okay. Because you're young, and if I had gotten into sales when I was younger, oh man, this would be so different. You know, I might have not joined the army. You know, done a bunch of other stuff. So cool. So yeah, thanks for coming on to the show. It's been
thank you very much.
A lot of fun. We learned a lot. Yeah, we had a laugh. We had our good. That's pretty much all we got.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, definitely. So everyone, until next time, keep being awesome.